KC3GWJ disconnected.
This is K9PQ for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I don't see anyone on video at this time. Is there anyone that would like to check into the net tonight?
WB7BHN.
Good evening, Jim. WB7BHN, we've got you. Anyone else?
AD7QKU and M7.
Great, Ron and Lee. Thanks for joining. This is Bob, K9PQ, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. We've got Jim, BHN, Ron, and Lee. Anyone else? Okay, well, let's start it off with Jim. Go right ahead, Jim.
This is WB7BHN. Well, I'm sort of recovering from my kidney stone surgery there. It turned out it's made me hurt a lot worse than it was before I had it, but it's getting better now after a couple of days. It's finally starting to clear up, and blood in my urine's beginning to disappear, and all the blood clots have hopefully passed out of there. It's going to get one of them things, and it backs the pressure up into my kidney and starts to hurt quite a bit. But as soon as it passes, it goes right away. So I had one tonight, and lasted about an hour, and it passed, and I got all better all at once. So I so appreciated that. And I'm going to be glad when I get the other side done and get this all over with instead of a pain in the belly on both sides. All over and done with it, and don't have to worry about it again. So we'll turn it back to net. WB7BHN.
Well, okay, Jim. Could you repeat? It was a bit noisy. I didn't hear what the procedure was for. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I had kidney stones removed out of my right kidney, and they got to do the left one in about a month. There's a month in between. They don't do them both at once. So I had two of them in the right kidney. I've got two more in the left kidney to get rid of. So with kidney stones.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear you're on the mend, and sounds like it's a good start. Okay. Well, thank you, and let's go on to Ron. K7QKU with Lee on the side. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I'm glad to hear Jim's it's getting better. Sounds like it was kind of an ordeal, Jim. I'm glad you through with the one, and hopefully you'll be better soon. Unfortunately, go through it all again. Well, I'm sorry to say that I'm trying to get sick. I'm trying to get a sore throat and a cold. Kim and I went out, I don't know, about a week ago or something. Joanne and I talked about this flu epidemic. Everything was just stay out of crowds and stay home for a while. So it kind of gets blown over. But darn it, Kim and I didn't go out and have lunch. We went to a bunch of stores and stuff, and then we both went up. Down first. Get a sore throat, I think. I feel like if I coughed a lot, I'd get a sore throat. Anyway, so let's go over and see what Lee has to say. So you're on, Lee.
Okay, very good. Well, this is N7KC. I'm Lee over in Port Angeles. And good evening to you, Bob, and Jim down in Rochester. And I've already said howdy to Ron. I think that takes care of it tonight. So let's see. The first news I have is that Mario was going to join us tonight, but I got an email from him that said that he was completely exhausted today. It was a big day for him. and that he would have to curtail tonight and plan on maybe trying to join us Saturday. So I sent him a note and said, Roger that, and see you then. And Rochester Jim, I'm sorry to hear that your travails there with the kidney stones. You might mention when next time you're up, when you talk about surgery, does that mean they're going in from the outside and somehow fixing these, or are they able to do it with tubes and things like that? I don't know. I thought they broke these things up with a high-intensity ultrasound with you in a tub or something like that. You might comment on, and I also comment that it's kind of hard to hear tonight. It's a little noisy in places, so. But that's part and parcel to your location, and that's the way it goes. Okay, with that, I don't have any video queued up here, so what I'm going to do is to send it back to Bob at 107KC in Port Angeles. Go, Bob.
Well, very good, Lee. Well, I actually have myself set up to transmit, so give me just a moment to get things switched over and see if this works. Oh, I have one more thing to do first. Okay. There we go. Okay, be right back. Okay, well, if I did this right, it should be switched over. Oh, there we go. I see it. It just popped up. That's not too terrible bad delay. Let me get over so I can show my camera rather than the bars. Okay, well, I actually have big news. I've been AWOL for a little while here, and I've been had a lot going on. I have a new job. It starts on the 7th. I gave notice at OpenNet, and my last day will be the 5th. So I will have 1 day off in between, but I'll be working. It's a contract job, but it's one that is long term. Everybody wants it to be long term, including AT&T, who is the customer. They've gone out of their way to say that, it's not the kind of job that you can just drop in and do because you know a certain language or a technique or something. There's a lot to learn, and they want someone that would be there long term, which is what I want as well. I really had wanted contract to hire, which I thought it was going to be, but it's straight contract. Let me break. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, the contract company I'll be working with, they also want me to be sort of a mentor to their younger contractors. I've been dreading my age being a barrier, but they actually kind of like it, and they like the fact that I can be out there at the client and almost be like an account manager, not actually being an account manager. I'll be doing my normal work for the client, but someone that they can lean on a little bit to help out with the younger guys. So pretty excited about that, and I'll leave it at that for now, and we can discuss it more the next time around. This is Bob, K9PQ. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Is there anyone else that would like to check in tonight? Okay, nothing heard. I'm going to switch the video back, and while I'm doing that, Jim, WB7BHN, go right ahead.
WB7BHN. Well, the way they get the stones out of you now, they got a laser and a little camera unit that they stick up through your penis and go up the tubes to get to your kidneys, and they shoot the kidney, the stones with a laser, and bust them up into little pieces, and then they put a stent in there to keep things kind of open so the pieces and everything can wash out of there, I guess. And it's about 7 days, and they take that out of me. I got a little string that goes dangles down, and it pulls to my strange arrangement, but it supposedly works. The other thing about this is I'm in a lot more pain after they did the surgery than I was before. So I hope they do a good job and get rid of them so they don't come back and be even more painful at a later date. I figure it's still worth it, but it's put me in a little more grief than it was before I went in and had the surgery. And what it does, it causes you to bleed down there for several days. You get blood in your urine and little blood clots that come out. And those little blood clots hang up in there. It causes pressure behind them, and that's what causes the kidney to hurt so bad. But they don't hang up real bad. They come out fairly easy. And I've had about 3 times that I've gone to the bathroom that it's had a number of blood clots in it. And this last one was the one that hurt the most. Today it hurt pretty bad for about an hour. And I pass the blood clot and everything goes away, and it feels pretty good again. But hopefully when they do the other side, it won't be as bad on that side. I'm hoping that I'm not looking forward to it after as bad as it got on this side to go through that again. But if I have to, I have to. I may get them to give me some pain medication next time. They didn't get it this time. I'm just taking Tylenol for it, and that doesn't really work so good. So we'll turn it back to net, WB7BHN.
Okay, Jim. Well, first of all, let me acknowledge Gary. I saw Gary's video, K7HYB. So Gary, we'll get you inserted in the order, and we'll come around to you. I'm sorry to hear you're in more pain, and it sounds like you're going through quite a bit there, Jim. But I'm sure. Well, I'm always optimistic about these things. I'm sure they know what they're doing, and that you're going to be better off. But yeah, right now it sounds like it's rough. Okay, so let's go to back to Ron, KD7QKU. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, K9PQ, KD7QKU. Well, Jim down in Rochester, yeah, it sounds kind of rough. I had an old friend that kind of had the same thing you're going through. It was some years ago. It seemed like they set him in a tub of ice water or something when they shot him with ultrasound or whatever they did. But he ended up, getting some infection in his urethral tract or whatever it is, and he got kind of bad for him. Almost be hospitalized, but he eventually got okay. So, yeah, I hope everything comes out good there. And Bob, I was just going to say, last time we had Jim, M720, I can't think of his full name, M720 Jim coming, because he was transmitting a picture of last time. Gary hasn't been here for a couple of months now, so it was good to see Gary. And he switched over to Lee. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay, this is Lee in Port Angeles in 7KC. Well, Jim, my gosh, Rochester Jim, that's quite a story. You say they used a laser. When they get up there, what if they miss the stone? With a potent laser like that, I think it would just be very destructive on tissue. It seems like ultrasound would be a more preferable way to go, but then what do I know? Okay, listen, I just got a couple of, I just thought I'd try a couple of pictures here, so I'm going to share a window here and start it. And let me see if it comes up here. I'm watching the stream. Oh, okay. All right. Well, this is an orca. This is a Phalaenopsis. We have a couple of Cymbidiums and a Phalaenopsis, and this was in better weather. Anyway, these are outrageous plants. Here's looking out from our back door through the sunroom out to part of our yard and so forth, and the rockery. And another view of our sunroom. Oh yeah, deer. We have deer. This was last fall, I think. And on a not too bad day, we didn't have bright sun that day, but not too bad. And the deer tend to cluster. They like to get on the grass right there by our sunroom. They call it the people tank. They're looking in, they watch us, and the fawn says to Mom, "Look, a people tank." Anyway, a human tank. And so forth. So listen, I think I better knock this off here. Stop sharing over here. There we go. All right, this is, I'm going to send it back to you, Bob. This is, by the way, Bob, your digital video on the stream is, of course, dynamite. So, N7KC, Port Angeles, back to Bob.
Well, those are really nice pictures, Lee, and glad you shared them. I don't have any tonight. Oh, let me switch over the video. 1 second. Okay, hopefully that's going to bring me up there in a moment. So, yeah, those were really nice pictures that you got there, and it was good to see them. I see now just my bars have come up, and there's my image up on the screen. And it's great to hear you coming in, boy, over the I just blanked over the internet. Oh no, I forgot Gary here. I was starting to take my turn, and I added Gary to the list. Well, Gary, you're going to come after me this time, since I'm already in the middle of it, but normally you'll be after Lee. Your video is looking good, Lee, and the audio is good. A couple of minor notes. Ron, you had some kind of a buzz or a hum, 60 cycle hum, I think, on your signal, for part of your signal, and maybe you need to switch antennas. Sometimes one antenna works better than the others for you, I know. And Lee, this is really, really minor, but there's a little bit of an echo that comes back from you. And if you were to use a headset, we wouldn't have that, I'm sure, but it's not, I don't even hear it all the time, so that's a minor thing. So yeah, the big news with my job is, the practical side for you guys is that I get my weekends and evenings back. I will have a commute, and a pretty unpleasant commute, but there is that. But I can deal with that. I sort of figured that into the whole thing, and it's definitely a net positive. I think that I'll be definitely more regular on the net, and very much looking forward to having time that's not in the office being my own time again. And I'm going to get a room back here, too, that's been my home office for years now, and I don't even know what to do with it. I'll have to figure something out. Okay, with that, I will send it to Gary, K7HYB. This is Bob, K9PQ. It's the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. And I'll turn it over to you, Gary, and I will switch back to the normal input. K9PQ, go ahead, Gary.
KMPQ, K7HYB. Yeah, good evening to all. I admit to being out of sorts. I'm better, but I've had the, I'm kind of like Ron. I caught the flu and I was down. I was really down. Let me get a mug shot here. Whoop. That isn't going to work. There we go. That's better. So I've been absent due to the sickness, and I was a little delayed tonight because I was working on a project on the bench, and I realized it was 8 o'clock and decided I better jump in. And Bob, on their next go around, I'm going to get one of those. Let me drop it here. I'm going to get one of those streaming devices like what you have, and let me get here's the mug shot. We get one of those streaming devices like you got, and I need to know how you do it, and I think you have to actually activate the control link, activate the streaming input through the control link. I believe that's the way you do it. So anyway, you can fill me in on a little bit of that, and I'm glad to hear that Rochester Jim is doing better, having been through that. I can understand how he feels. I had the laser treatment too, lithotripsy. Anyway, and Bob, I'm glad you got yourself a job. I hope you find this to be a firm situation for you. I don't have to worry about working anymore. Oh well. Anyway, enough of my turn on this go around. Back to you, Bob. Next control. KMPQ, K7HYB.
Very good, Gary. Well, I'm making a couple notes here about the grand stream and the job, and when it comes back around to my turn, I'll have a couple words to say. But for the grand stream, we'll need to go into more detail off the air, but I can give you the basics. Okay, well then, let's see if there's anyone out there that might want to join. This is Bob, K9 for the WW7ATS. Do we have anyone else to join tonight? Not hearing anything, we go back to Jim in Rochester, WW7ATS. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, that's WW7ATS. Well, I can't remember who wrote that ask how it happens if the doctor misses the stone with the laser, and what kind of a hole it could blow in my kidney or something. But I asked him the same question. I asked him if he ever misses, and he assured me that he didn't. I guess the camera they got on the end of this thing is and the laser lined up pretty close, and they can tell exactly where he's shooting at, so he claims anyway. And he seemed to be alright this time. I don't think I've got a bunch of holes in my kidney anyway. At least if I do, I don't know about them. It seems to be still working and still putting out fluid there, both of them, so he must have done all right on the first one, and I told him I expected him not to miss. I didn't want any uncalled for holes in my kidney that shouldn't be there. But he assured me it was no problem. He claims he hits the stone every time, so I took his word for it and let him go ahead. And it's going to be kind of interesting to see what it feels like when they pull that stent out of there. I guess they just go into their office on Monday, and they pull on the string and pull the stent right out. I'm kind of wondering what that's going to feel like. I hope that's not too bad, but apparently it's not. They would not do it just in their office so they don't have any backup in case something goes wrong or whatever. But they seem to be a pretty good group of guys, and they are taking care of me. I guess at least that's what they say. So we'll find out when they do the last 2 stones in about a month. They'll take out the building. After that, I've got it made. I'll be all clear of stones, and take 15 to 20 years to grow more of them. So that's the WB7BHN back to net.
Okay, Jim. Well, yeah, I'm sure they know what they're doing, and it would be possible to focus that laser to have a very, very near focal point where it would maybe not do so much damage if it were to miss. But I think, like they said, they're looking right at it with a camera, and I'm sure they don't miss. Okay, thanks for that, and on we go to Ron, K87QKU. This is K9PQ and the WatsNet. Go ahead, Ron.
K9PQ and the group KD7QKU. Well, I don't know, Jim. It sounds kind of bad to me. We're moving that catheter thing or whatever it was. I think you better take a stick with you to bite on a piece of wood so you can clench your teeth on that. I don't know. It's kind of bad to me. Well, you know, I had, I guess it was the retina, whatever it was, that tore in my eye. Like wallpaper in the back of your eye. I saw this white flap all the time. So I called them, went in, they sent me into the specialist in Bellevue, and strapped me down in a chair. He stuck this big needle in my eye. It sounds awful, but anyway, he did. You know, they try to hide it from me so you can't see it. I swear it looked as big as a lead pencil, but I don't think it was that big. But anyway, they stick it in your eye. That's the way he did it. And then he stick this little tube in it. And they did the same thing with the laser in my eye. And they had me, my head strapped down. And then they had a guy come in and hold my head. And they told me every time I put something on the pedal to shoot the laser, he would say, "Now don't move." And then you'd see this bright flash. And then he'd readjust it, and then he'd do it again. So he stitched it shut. You know, I guess modern medicine. That was quite a few years ago that I had that one. So they do really good. Nice to have So we had James, WU7N was here last night. And then we had another James that was up at KI7LIF. I didn't hear him tonight. And then of course we had Jim M7QO and Jim down there in Montana. So we had a pretty good group here last time. And Bob, I forgot to say congratulations, but congratulations on your new job. Sounds good. I'm glad for you. It'll be nice to have you on the net for them. Okay, so we can go over to Lee in 7KC.
Okay, very good. Well, this is N7KC in Port Angeles again. Okay, well, Bob, I think the problem was I'm hearing the rate machine through Ron's system there on Skype coming in here. I've got it cut way down, but I just thought that you could hear it. I've got it muted now. The problem is I don't hear the beep or anything on Echo Link. So if I'm only listening to that, I don't have any idea when to switch it on or off. So what I did was I started a timer here, and I'll hold it up here. Anyway, I've got a stopwatch going, and I'm at 45 seconds now. And while you're talking about storage, Jim, and how to get that spread out, I'm still amazed. You know, if you've got a non-invasive procedure like ultrasound from the outside that will do the job, it's hard for me to go along with the idea of an internal procedure like that, especially with stents and stuff that has to come out. Which brings me to my story, was when I was 50 years old, I broke my right wrist terribly and shattered it. And compounded everything. You know, I had bones come out. Well, when they put me back together in the operating room, I had the pins put in the bone just above my wrist. I had 2 pins in that were angled, and then on the back of my wrist I had 2. And then there was a stainless rod that went between each of those, and then there was a long rod that went between those, and it held my wrist back. And they put those pins in an operating room, right? I mean, I was awake, and I had an arm block when they did it, so I watched them do it. Of course, I felt nothing. And I worried the whole 3 months, how they're going to get those pins out. You know, you put them in an operating room, it seems like you're going to take them out in an operating room. Well, finally the doctor says, oh no, we just take those out in the office. And, I'm running down 2.5 minutes. I'll wait. Just remember, I'm going to the office to get the pins out. I'll tell you the rest of the story a little later. It's N7KC, Port Angeles. Back to Bob.
Okay, Lee, very good. Well, you keep us in suspense. Okay, well, I will put Gary into his normal order and put me at the end. So you'll have to wait you'll have to wait till after your turn to hear me talk about the Grand Stream, but I'll definitely give you the basics on that, and I think it's a good way to go, obviously. So it's over to you, Gary. K7HYB, this is K9PQ and WatsNet. Go ahead, Gary.
K9PQ, K7HYB, and thank you. I got the mug shot again here. There we go. Got my glasses on. Well, primarily I wanted to do that because my signal isn't strong enough to produce a decent picture, and that isn't going to change here in the near future, at least until spring comes around, or maybe midsummer, when I can put some, when I can get the antennas moved a little bit. My 440 antenna is still mounted on the ground, the one that Ron gave me, and it's doing the job, but it's not quite strong enough to really produce a halfway decent picture. It's stabilized, but there's no color. So the definition is pretty bad. So I'd like to get that. So I thought I'd go for another. Source video and just put it directly into the stream and directly into the repeater, just like you do, Bob. That's what I had in mind. And a note to Jim, Rochester Jim. I don't mean to be dramatic, but it might be a good idea if you took some Depends with you. Based on my experience, anyway, when they take that catheter out, you're pretty irritated, and it can get messy. That's just the words of the wise. Lots of pads or Depends or something like that. That'll help you get through, and you'll recover in a couple of days. The irritation will go down, because let's face it, they take that thing out, and you're already irritated when they took the. Let me drop it here. It's already irritated when they do the lithotripsy and get the stones out, and then when they put the catheter in, it gets all riled back off or gets riled all the way back up again. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. And I'll take the signal tonight is very poor coming from the repeater. It's only about a P.5 or something like that. I wouldn't even give it a P1. It's pretty poor. I'm not exactly sure what my antenna is doing out there. Maybe it got turned, I don't know. Back to you, Bob. I'll let you put your 2 bits worth in. K9PQ, K7HYB.
Okay, Gary, very good. Switch things over here for a moment.
Gary, your picture looks pretty good tonight, really.
Well, it's not too bad incoming, but coming this way on 1.2 gig is pretty bad.
Okay, I'm back. Lee, did you say that it was, what was your comment, Lee?
Well, that was Ron, KD7QKU. I said Gary's picture was almost better than average. It was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, you've got a black and white picture, Gary, but it's pretty clear. It's one of the better pictures I've seen from you that wasn't colored. And Ron, you're still having a lot of problems with your audio, so if you can switch to another antenna, please, I would suggest it. Otherwise we can make it out. So it's good enough. Okay. Well, let's see the grand stream. Yeah. So there's a few steps. There's three main things with that. You know, of course, it's getting the unit yourself and having it configured. And Rob configured mine for me. He said you cannot configure it according to the instructions. He said they're nice units, but they have bad instructions, and some of them are just flat wrong. So we might be able to use mine to figure out how to configure yours, or we might have to go to Rob, but we'll get that done. Then there's the controller, and that's correct. I have access to the web-based controller that switches between grand stream units. So we'll add yours to the list, and that way you can get a signal in. And then the final step is the switching at the repeater, which is what I've been doing to get it switched over to seeing the streaming as opposed to the repeater input. There's something I wrote down, job, and I don't remember exactly what it was. That it was something to respond to you, I think, Gary, about the job. Yeah, it's definitely a big improvement for me. I mean, this was totally voluntary. It wasn't like I had to go find a job, but they had layoffs at my workplace, and so I was a bit concerned there might be more. But really, probably my job was pretty safe. But it was just with the reduction of people, I'd had to take on more, and there was even less support, and it was just it was getting to be a situation I just didn't really want to be in anymore. And then this opportunity came along, and I grabbed it. So I'll be working at Redmond Town Center. Customers AT&T, but I'll be on the network side instead of right now. I'm on the billing side. So it'll be working with more of the equipment that actually handles the traffic. So that's going to be really interesting. Great. And let's see. So yeah, that's the job, and I'm just very, very excited about it. Can't wait to. I'm having to force myself to keep my head in the current job and try and do as much as I can for them. But I think I mentioned it before that it's maybe I was talking to someone on the phone about this, but it's hard for me to want to put a lot in to help them when they won't help themselves. I'm getting no kind of indication from my manager or director of what it is they want from me as far as information or training somebody. There's just no real organization there, and it's been part of the problem I've had working for them. So anyway, onward and upward. Okay, well, with that, I will switch this back to streaming, and we'll go to. Well, let me ask: is there anyone that would like to join the net? This is K9PQ for the WatsNet.
KG7BPX in South Everett. First personal here is Jerry.
Well, hello, Jerry. KG7BPX. Well, thanks for joining us. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net, and I'm Bob, K9PQ. And why don't you go ahead and take a turn, and then come back to me.
All right, Bob. Well, anyways, I've had my license for a while. I was always in UHF, VHF, and HF a little bit. But I would really like to get in that TV net, or the TV type of deal, fast scan, slow scan. But I just recently got into DMR, and I'm kind of concentrating on that right now. I think that's pretty fun right now, the DMR deal. I just got my first DMR radio. But would like to learn more about the fast scan, slow scan TV. So, anyways, God, I don't got much more to say. So I guess I'll turn it back over to you, Bob. This is KG7BPX.
Very good, Jerry. Well, we do fast scan TV, this net. We have a repeater on Cougar Mountain, and so we send signals to it on the 440 band, about the 1.2 gigahertz band. Some of us aren't able to get signals in the normal ways, so we have other ways to get there, but the primary way is sending analog radio signals up and then coming back as well over the air. Okay then, let me switch out my video, get back to the normal video, and we'll go back to Jim, WB7BHN. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, this is WB7BHN. Well, as far as using ultrasound, I don't know that they actually use ultrasound to break the stones up. The lithotripsy machine, the one I was going to work on years ago, I applied for a job to take care of one, and they had an X-ray machine, and they put you in a tank of water for that, and then they focused a shock wave towards your kidneys, and it hits you hard enough that it could give you bad bruises, the shock wave where it hits you, and they've decided that there's more chance of severe bleeding doing that than there is with this newer, I guess it's a little newer anyway, it's not real new, they've been doing it for 15, 20 years. Laser treatment that they gave me is have to do less damage to you than using the old lithotripsy method that they used to use, because that shock wave has to be fairly strong to hit your body and then go through your body tissues and into the kidney and still have enough power left to break up the stones. So they didn't really recommend doing that on me anyway. They felt this would be less invasive than the lithotripsy method that they used to use. And I'm going to say 73s because I've got to go use a little boy's room, and it'll probably take me a few minutes. So let's say 73s to everybody and try to make it back Saturday. WB7BHN.
Okay, very good, and thanks for the clarification on the different techniques. I had also heard it was ultrasound and never really understood the process, but you explained it well. Okay, with that, we'll go over to Ron, KG7QKU. This is K9PQ and the WattsNet. Go ahead, Ron.
K9PQ, KD7QKU. I switched antennas. Do I sound any better?
Yeah, 100% better. Almost full quieting, much clearer.
Okay. Well, it doesn't receive it as good as the other one, so the signal coming in is worse than that. I can switch back when I'm done. I don't have, well, actually, I got really up. I got to put myself up. I don't have much to add. Like I say, I hope that Jim down there in Rochester gets well done. And Gary, you had a pretty nice picture tonight. And I think I said, I don't know if you guys heard me or not, but Last time, Jim N7QO was on, and he was transmitting a picture. It's not as good as Gary, but you could see. So he was giving a picture. I sure hope those guys aren't sick or something. So anyway, like I say, I'm not feeling very well. So I'm going to pass it over to Lee and to let Lee show us some more pictures or something.
Okay, this is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Here, let me kill this audio so I don't get any feedback here. Okay. Well, I have to listen to the Skype so I can hear the beep because it doesn't come through on the Echo link. And just now it occurs to me, you guys might have heard two CW IDers there. It turns out that the Echo Link transmitter is on Cougar, and he gets up to Tiger on a RF link. And since it's an independent transmitter, it has to ID, and the ID's with the /L, Lima, for link, and the other one ID's with the /R for repeater. So when you hear those overlaid, why that's what's going on. Okay, well, I started my stopwatch, and I'm a minute in, so I got to tell you this quick. So I go in the office to get my pins taken out after 3 months, and they unbolt all the rods and all that stuff, and there are just 4 pins sticking out there, you know. So they call in a couple of guys to hold my arm, and we got a brace and bit, or a brace. You know what the old brace is? Like the old woodworkers use, where you crank it with your right hand, you know? The brace and bit, only the bit was the pins that were in mine. So they chuck it up on the pins, and then he says, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Okay, go for it." And they turned those 4 pins out, no anesthetic, no nothing, but they're tapered pins. They're a little bit like a pipe thread. So once they come loose, it's not like they're driving all the way out on standard machine threads or pipe threads, so it would fall out pretty quick. A little bit, if you can imagine, like the stem of a drilling machine, you know, for oil drilling, where it's a pretty steep angle there with, anyway, that's the way it works. So anyway, I got through it, and the fellow looked at me when we were all done, he says, "My God, you're tough." Anyway, I worried about it for 3 months. It turned out not to be a big deal. Well, I'm down to 2.5 minutes now, and I think all good sense says I should curtail and send it back to net control. I did have a few pictures queued up, but I'm not going to try to reset. I better go quick. N7KC, Port Angeles, back to Bob.
Well, very good, Lee, and interesting story. I never would have guessed that that's how they get those out. My goodness. And Ron, thanks for the reminder, for mentioning again about Jim N7QO having a picture. That's big news. It's been a long time since he had a picture of. So I guess he's got the antennas back up on the roof after getting the roofing done, and that's fantastic news. And that he got through. It's all good. So, okay, with that, let's go over to Gary, K7HYB. Go ahead, Gary.
KNAPQ, K7HYB, good evening. Yeah, I didn't realize that there was a link on the repeater from Cougar to Tiger. And we'll hope that we can make use of some of this expanded ability. I'm considering possibly hooking up on Echolink. I haven't done it yet. I've been kind of busy here and I'm not feeling well, so anyway, I've had other distracting things here to take things away. Let me get my mark shot up here. Let me drop it here. Okay, get a reset. And yeah, I'm glad to hear Covington Jim is able to get things going again. I know that he was kind of bummed out about that, and I guess he's got his antennas back up again. So we need to make a trip down there and see if we can't possibly figure out where his signal is going awry, because he should do pretty well. He's a lot closer to the repeater than I am. I'm 18 miles out, and I guess that's not too bad a signal. One of these days I might get a little color. So, anyway, Rochester Jim, I just wanted to pass on to you that my wife and I, Carol, are planning on making a trip down to Lucky Eagle, the casino. We got a free pass for a couple of nights stay, and there's going to be an Elvis tribute artist going to be out down there on the 17th of February. I'd like to go down and see him. My son is an Elvis tribute artist also, as you well know, and so consequently, kind of like to go compare what the possibility, what his talent is as compared to my son. Of course, I don't think anybody will be better than my son, but then that's strictly personal. So that's all I got for the night. It's 10 minutes to. I'm going to bail out with the 73s, and we'll talk to you all on Saturday. Hopefully, I'll still be feeling up to communicating and getting back on the air. And I'm constantly working on my situation here. And Bob will talk some more about that streaming here when I get the device. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to get it here pretty quick. K9PQ, K7HYB, and 73's all.
Okay, Gary, 73 to you as well, and yeah, I did want to comment that you said you had been really sick with the flu, and sorry to hear that. It sounds like you're on the mend, so that's good news. Okay, well, let's see if we've got Jerry still, KG7BPX. This is K9PQ and the WatsNet. Go ahead, Jerry. Okay, I think maybe Gary's gone for the evening, so let me switch the video input. I'll be right back. Okay, well, let's see. Checking my notes. I guess I mentioned already about Jim N7QO. Glad to hear he's got a picture back, and I agree it would be good to make a trip down there. And you know, I will say I'm going to go through a little bit of an adjustment. I've got a lot to learn for this new job. They hired me mainly for my communication skills, obviously my technical ability, but the technical details of this job are going to be new to me, so I'm going to have a lot of learning to do at the start and just some adjustments. So you may not see me, I'll expect to be on the nets more, but I may not have a lot more energy and time for a little while. I expect that to get better and soon be good. It's going to be tough giving up the vacation. I worked my way up to 4 weeks vacation with my current company, and because this is a contracting company, even though it's very common with contracting companies now, they have an option where you become an employee of them and you get benefits like a normal employee would. But I get 1 week vacation, and that's it. It never goes up. It doesn't go up even, from the next year. The next year it stays just 5 days vacation. So I've just decided I'm going to take unpaid leave. 5 days is not enough for me. I've got enough things that I have planned every year, not even including a normal vacation, just long weekends, field day, various different things that would easily take up a week just to have the extra days. And so for me to get any kind of a real vacation, I need at least one more week. So I'll be doing that, not this year, but next year. This year I told them I'd stick to the 5 days. So let's see. That's the big thing going on with me right now. So it's kind of where my head is on everything. But it's just great to hear everybody. Why don't we go ahead and do a 73 round? We got about 4 minutes left, so we can do a quick 73 round. Go down the list of those that are still here. This is Bob, K922 for the WatsNet. Let's go back up to Jim. Oh no, Jim signed off, so let's go back to Ron. Go ahead, Ron, K7QKU, K922 and the net.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. K7QKU here, so 73, everybody. I will put lead on and say yes, 73.
Okay, this is Lee in Port Angeles. Good net, 73s everyone, and we'll see you down the pike. Then N7KC, Port Angeles, back to net.
Well, I'm not sure what just happened there. Lee, did you hear that noise? I see Lee took some headphones off, so maybe he's not hearing me. Well, interesting. At the end of Lee's transmission, we had some noise. It seemed to be some noise there before Echolink actually went off. But I think Gary said his 73, so I think that's everybody. Good net tonight, guys. Thanks everyone for joining. This is Bob. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. We meet 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Wednesday evenings and Saturday evenings. And we do thank the owners and operators of this repeater for allowing us to use this repeater for the audio portion of our net. So with that, I think I will just say this is K922 closing the net at 8:58, and everyone have a good evening.
N7KC disconnected.